Welcome back, everyone. This is Super Kelly Brothers Podcast, episode 71. My name's Sloan Kelly.
My name's Jody Kelly.
And you've probably noticed that Jody's been displaced by Douglas Maxwell. Well,
from the clan Maxwell.
Yes. Thank you for having me here. This is rather wonderful.
Yeah, we've been
Yes.
for ages to get you, but
We have. We pulled out all the stops.
busy man.
All four viewers
not
are
anymore.
absolutely delighted to see you.
Yes, they must be thrilled. Right on the edge of their sleeping bags.
Aye. They can't believe their luck.
It's getting beamed into Guantanamo Bay. No! Guantanamo FM.
Aye, exactly. Aye. Pretty much. You should be wearing an orange boiler suit.
My gosh. I'm what the former looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon?
The conversation did. So normally this part of the podcast, we talk about what we did this week, and then we sort of lambaste people for watching stupid things, and so we start off usually with Jody, but maybe we should ask Douglas first, or do you want to go
Straight into the deep end, Douglas.
What I'm watching.
Yeah.
I tell you, do you know what I'm just before this started? What I was just watching on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Really?
When was the last time you saw that? It's
Jimmy Bond.
nuts, wee Jimmy Bond, but not the right Jimmy Bonds. None of them. It's the
Was it
craziest
George?
movie.
Was that George
Lazenby.
Lazenby?
And he quits. He gets married. He pretends to be a gay guy who's researching family history, and he goes off in the film Blofeld's
I think I've seen
Family
it.
Shield. There's a 10-minute photocopying section where he photocopies documents from a safe. Da-da-da-da. You know, imagine. They must have been coming out of the cinema going, "Oh my God, did you see that photocopier? I couldn't believe it, man."
Never seen such technology.
Unbelievable. It's really weird. It's such
Was
a
he
weird
photographing
film.
his arse?
He's never. Well, he was wearing a kilt at one point, and
Right.
a woman writes her room number on his inner thigh, and someone says, "Are you okay, Mr. Bond?" And he says, "Just feeling a slight stiffness."
That sounds like the best. I think I've seen it.
I don't think I'd seen it.
I think I've avoided it because it's George Lazenby.
You know,
He gets married.
it also features the song by Louis Armstrong. We have all.
Yeah,
That's the theme. Is that the
That
theme
is.
tune?
and
Aye.
he researches his well, there's a whole big kind of "who do you think you are" line in it. I mean, it's really weird where he's researching family crest and he finds the Bond family crest. Do you know what the motto of it is?
Me sexy.
Shaken, not stubbed.
The world is not enough.
It is not.
Ah,
Yeah, that was his little motto in
which
Latin.
was Pierce Brosnan.
Mm,
Or was it? Wait a minute.
I think it was. Aye.
Aye. That's
Yeah.
Pierce.
They must
So
be
how
showing all the.
did
A few Bonds
how
later.
did Lazenby come in then in the old
Well,
scale of Bonds? Like that
He's-
crash.
Oh, pull up, Lazenby, pull up.
Sounds like he had all the best lines though.
I thought.
He's, I
I
think
feel a
he's,
certain stiffness. That's
and I hadn't
Classic.
realised that Connery did 4 or 5. Then it was Lazenby. They went back to Connery for Diamonds Are Forever
uh-huh.
before Roger Moore came in, because
Yeah.
they must be showing them on ITV or something, because that showed the girls, my daughters, Live and Let Die.
Uh-huh.
That was on a few weeks ago.
Classic.
And that was within minutes. My eldest daughter was like, "Daddy, is this a racist film?" Don't be ridiculous. And then I was like, "Oh no, wait a minute," as it continued to go on. And then the wee one was like, she was like, "Why does he know that lady?" "No." "Why is he unzipping her dress from behind with a magnet in his watch?" They were different days. Come on, everybody was doing it.
Everybody was. You were there. I was there.
But
I
that's,
certainly never used a magnet. That's for sure.
I think.
The magnet.
What's your favourite Bond film? What's your favourite Bond?
Just part of the quiz. Just
No.
a test.
That's a test, but it's not part of the quiz.
I think my favourite Bond is. What was the one I said the other day? The 1977 one.
Oh yeah, Spy
The
Alone.
one with Sheen. Not the one with Sheen Easton. Not that one.
For Your Eyes Only.
For Your Eyes Only. Is
Yeah.
that the Sheen Easton one?
Yes.
I can't remember.
Yeah, for you. Yeah, that's for your eyes only and only.
It's the first one Jaws is in anyway. That's
Oh,
my
right,
favourite
right,
one.
yeah.
No,
Which I don't think's a Shane Easton one.
that's the Spy Who Loved Me. Because that's the one you wanted to put in the
Spy
action.
Love. That's the one. Yeah.
It was
But
90.
it was because we did an 80s action movies list
Uh-huh.
last week, and I was trying to crowbar a Jimmy Bond one in there, and that was my favourite one. And
Turns out it was the same.
Roger Moore. Roger Moore's not my favourite Bond though.
He was our first though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
we
he
went to the
was.
cinema to see, our generation saw him
Yeah.
first. Now, you always have a
Yeah.
little bit of a loyalty to your first Bond.
Oh, you do. Aye, he was a good Bond. I think Daniel Craig's a great Bond though.
I think some of the films are a bit charmless though.
Maybe
But they just turn into violent.
they're a bit Born Identity, shouldn't they?
Aye, Skyfall. Is that the one in the house?
Yeah.
So at the end,
And
that's just like Home Alone
Yeah.
directed by
It
Peckinpah.
was. So was the last. So was the
booby
last
traps
Rambo
and-
movie as well.
What about you, Sloan? What's your favourite Bond?
My favorite Bond, probably Pierce Brosnan.
He was good. Yeah.
I liked him.
I really like Goldeneye.
GoldenEye.
One with the pins.
That's up there with Simply the Best, by the way.
The guy who's never acted in anything else except he was in that in that detective show where he played a kind of rough.
Remington Steele.
No, it wasn't. No, it was
You talked about Pierce Brosnan.
Toby Stevens. Toby Stevens.
Oh, aye. Yeah.
Good. I liked him. He played the North Korean guy that had the face.
Isn't
The
he
Face
Vanessa
Off.
Redgrave's son or something like that? He's
Uh-huh.
a Redgrave.
Could be. I'll tell you what a tentative link to Pierce Brosnan is for later
What?
on. He was in A Long Good Friday.
I was going to say.
Ah,
I was going to say that.
Aye.
That was his first movie role.
name another Bond guest appearance in a handmade film.
Ooh,
You'll know it.
it's a toughie.
It's not even a guest appearance. He's got a proper good big part.
Is it Roger
I
Moore?
bet he does.
Anyway,
As in one of the main stars.
he's one of the. He would have been on the. I reckon on the poster he'd be the first name, although he wasn't the star of it.
It was.
This could be a 2-hour-long podcast of us just going. Is it?
Connery.
Is it? Is it? Who is it?
I can't hear Sloan. Sloan, you're dropping out for me when you
Sean Connery.
Don't start.
say again, Sloan.
Sean Connery in Time Bandits.
Correcto. There you go.
Jeez.
He plays Agamemnon or something like that.
Yeah, and the fireman at the end.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
I think it's sad when you go back to watch the Bond films and you realise they're not that good.
Mm.
You know, the ones you love.
They're of their time, like you say. They're of their time.
The Roger
They're
Moore
bit-
ones that I remember going for my birthday to see Octopussy, and I had the annual and everything. And then I used to say it was my favourite one. And see, have you ever seen that again as a grown up?
No.
That would never really get shown, but I think it's maybe the title allowed on the telly.
Yeah.
It's just, Octopussy.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Mm.
Let's not go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any
It's a
others?
bit Fabergé. We're watching 6 Feet Under.
All right, the old show.
Yeah, we started at episode 1 again, worked our way through. My favourite 3 TV shows are West Wing, Sopranos, and 6 Feet Under, and whichever one I happen to be watching, I think is the best TV of all time. So at the minute, it's 6 Feet Under, and we're loving that. Better Call Saul just finished. We did Tiger King last week.
Oh yeah,
Aye,
that's good.
it's superb.
Every
Yeah.
episode.
It's nuts.
And my sympathy is entirely with the Tigers. You know, I was. But isn't it
Yeah.
weird how the desire to keep tigers also kind of the Venn diagram with cult leader seems to
Yeah.
kind of go
Yeah.
those two
I know.
things. The
Yeah.
same kind of person wants a cult leader wants to keep tigers, and a tiger guy wants to be a cult leader
Yeah,
You're probably right.
because they were all nuts. Each one was more nuts than the last.
yeah.
My favourite nutty guy in it was Jeff.
Which
His girlfriend that lived in Vegas, and Jeff.
Oh, the
Jeff, yeah,
gangster,
yeah.
The guy,
He's
guy,
the
the guy
guy.
he put the money in,
Yeah.
and then
the con man.
and then
figure.
they get confronted. He confronted the the main guy, Exotic Joe,
Hmm.
because he was writing his Jeff's name in checks and getting them cashed or whatever.
Yeah. But he
Which
was
was
also
like-
fake. He was also fake. He was getting filmed doing that, so he
Yeah.
could distance himself for him and put this guy in jail.
Yeah.
But it was not. I actually found myself thinking the most sympathetic figure was the Colombian drug lord. He came across all right, you know.
But he
To
only
openly
appeared
admit
in.
that. I chopped a guy up. I mean, I was there. I mean, I didn't actually chop him up. I was there watching it. You know, and he kind of came across as, compared to everybody else, a kind of reasonable, down-to-earth kind of geezer.
He served his time. It's fine. He served
The
his
base
time. He's okay.
Scarface on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing was he you stopped hearing about him after like I think the second episode,
Yeah.
and then it was just back to the crazies.
It's really
guy
crazy
Carl
characters,
Baskin
though.
and
Aye,
yeah.
The rich one who owns the elephants and all that, you know, with the ponytail and the
yeah.
five wives.
Yeah.
He was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
You
I
could
know.
just tell in his eyes he was
Yeah.
off his head.
You could easily do a spin-off show about each one of those characters.
I know.
You know, every single one.
It was
Crazy
great.
show.
It was great.
Good show.
And I liked the Grayson Perry thing this week. Did you watch that, Jodie?
Oh, do you know what? I've got it recorded and I've not watched it yet.
It was good.
I love
It's
Grayson
really good.
Perry.
Aye. But he's
Aye,
taking submissions in. Like you could send, he
I know.
sets a kind of thing each week and you can send stuff in and he might show it.
Is it like an adult version of Take Heart?
Yeah, they actually sing the music over it when they're looking at it.
Oh, do they?
Aye.
Right, brilliant.
But some of the stuff's
Aye.
good.
Is it kind of more far out stuff that gets shown, or?
Not a kind of.
Aye.
I think he's been
Yeah.
pretty generous, but it's good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
What have you been watching?
You watch it. On to you, Sloan, or me?
You go first.
I've been watching. I watched the Beastie Boys story.
Oh, is it good?
Aye, that's pretty good. It's kind of TED Talk-ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's them on the stage. It's directed by Spike Jonze, and they have rehearsed it. It's like a show.
Mhm.
I think they did.
Mhm.
They must have done a run of maybe 9 or 10 shows or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in a theatre in New York, and it's just them talking from beginning to end at the shows and how they got together, how they became who they became. Really interesting. And then it ends in a total downer of the death of Adam Yauch. You know, it's a bit of a downer ending, but a kind of celebration as well in another way. You know, of his life and because he was the total brains behind the Beastie Boys.
Was it?
He all the inspiration, because they were saying there's certain friends you have in your life. You've got the friend that you go to when they're in trouble. You've got the friend that will always have a place for you in your sofa. You've got the other blah blah blah. And he says, and you've also got friends that will inspire you to do things and to push you further than you've ever taken yourself. And that was what he was.
Mm.
He was the one that gave the get up and go to the band, and he was the one that experimented, and he was the one that pushed them to learn their instruments and all that kind of stuff. So it was really good. It was interesting. It could have been. I mean, it could have probably maybe been better if it had been a proper documentary, but it was an interesting way of doing it, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I also watched. What else did I watch? Good TV. Can't actually remember what else I watched. Oh no, I watched the Gangs of London. You watched that?
Nah, don't fancy it.
Really?
Mm.
It's the most violent thing I've ever seen on the telly, and
Is it?
it's like action scenes are like a guy. It's like a pub fight, right? And this guy goes in, and it's like a cross between the Long Good Friday and Avengers. This guy goes in and wrecks about 12 people, and then goes outside the pub, chases after a guy, and then another 3 guys jump in. But it's like acrobatic kicks and fights and things. But
So Kingsman, that kind of idea.
yeah, but it's not meant to be that. It's just meant to be a down to earth gangster thing. But it's like totally, the action's like completely over the top. So I'm expecting some sort of mega Fast and Furious type car chase soon in it.
Or if they're following the James Bond model, 10 solid minutes of photocopying.
Aye.
Get a heart rate up.
Well, it's modern, so it might be just a printer.
It could be. A scanner
Double-sided,
or something.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
let's not go crazy. Let's stick to the photocopy.
You know, yeah. So that's kind of probably all that I've watched this week. I've watched a lot of Disney Plus, to be fair.
Yeah.
I've watched a bit of Jeff Goldblum.
What did you think of Jeff Goldblum stuff?
I love that show. It's so upbeat, and it's
Yeah.
nice to see something positive, and
Mhm.
you know, it's just him talking about computer games one week,
Ice cream
because the
one
full
week.
thing's out. Denim,
Mhm.
trainers. You know, it's just how they came about, what they are now in the modern day, what they mean to people. You know, it's just dead upbeat. He's such a strange guy. He's got so much, you know, the way he speaks to people. It's like total, you know, he's interested, but at the same time, he's completely insincere.
Yes.
You know, he's like, Jeff, no. Who are you?
So jeans,
Such a character.
Huh? So
Such a
you
character.
pull the jeans on,
But-
and then I go to my work, and
But then
never think about them.
he's exaggeratedly excited about it as well, but insincere with it because he overdoes it. He overeggs the exaggerism. Exaggerism.
He overeggs the exaggerism.
Write that down.
You heard it here first. It's certainly a phrase.
Yeah.
And what about you,
Unfortunately,
Sloan? What are you watching?
I didn't watch anything. I actually played Pokemon Sword on the Switch this week. I have bought many Pokemon games. I have never played a Pokemon game until recently. So it was a bit of an eye opener. I don't know why I've never played Pokemon games before. They're actually really fun. You just basically go and battle Pokemon. It's just kind of, you get into this kind of like rhythm. Well, okay, maybe. I mean, you could say that, but it's super simple. You basically just pick an attack from a menu. You click on OK, and then it plays an animation, and then the bar either moves or it doesn't, and then eventually you kill the Pokemon. You move on to the next battle. I'm not selling it, I know, but never mind. And the only thing I really watched this week, we watched a ton of like Family Guy and Community, which is on Netflix.
Yeah, watch Community.
Community's the unsung hero of sitcoms.
It went on a bit. I think it's straggling now without them.
Is it still going?
No,
I've just started watching it.
Season 6 was the last one. That was like 4 years ago.
And that's not got Childish Gambino and all those people in it anymore.
Yvette Nicole Brown's not in it. Neither's
Chevy's not in it.
Chevy's not in it. No.
Did you see all this? Have you followed all that stuff between Dan Harmon and? Oh, it's brilliant. And
the phone call.
The phone call he plays him, and all that, and the fights. No, it's crazy.
On the show.
Yeah. No, there's like a panel. There's a panel, and they all talk. And he goes, Dan Harmon goes like, you want to hear what Chevy Chase says to me? And he brings up his phone, puts it to the lav mic, and you just hear this conversation about Chevy Chase ripping into him about how he's not funny, he doesn't know how to direct.
He says something I think that would have wounded somebody. He says, "It's not that you're not funny, you're just okay." Right? And I think
Chevy says that to him, or somebody says that.
And
to
I
Chevy?
think no, that's him. Chevy Chase saying to him, and I think that would sting coming from someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's been around these people. Chevy Chase is a famous asshole. You know, he's got into some grapes left, right, and centre. I still love him though. But
well, we had a whole thing. We had a top 10 Chevy Chase. You need to keep in the loop.
Yeah.
Top 10 Chevy Chase movies, and we struggled to get 10. But anyway,
we did. Yeah.
That would be a bit of a struggle.
We made it.
Fletch number 1, was it?
Fletch 1 and 2, I think was it.
I think Fletch 1 and 2 was 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think that is fair enough. Fletch is brilliant. Fletch is really good.
Yeah.
And apparently they're based on novels.
Yeah.
So I've never read them or seen them or anything.
No.
And they were going to
You've never read them, Sloan?
No.
They were going to make a new one with a guy from Scrubs. And then
Oh, really?
halfway through filming, they had to cancel it. I can't remember why. I think he was Zach Braff.
Coronavirus.
That's the other thing that's in on Her Majesty's Secret Service. It's all about putting a virus into the community and threatening the UN to say he's going to release a virus.
Aye.
And about allergies and all that.
I think we need to do a James Bond special.
Yeah. You could
Definitely.
dress up in your dinner suit.
Could I? Get my cocktail out.
I think you broke up there for a minute.
Dear God.
There's been some episodes of Community that are so clever.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of fold in themselves and they're kind of a sitcom about a sitcom.
Yeah. Especially when
I've only started watching it because it's on Netflix, so I've just started watching it now.
Mm.
Yeah, it's good. I love that actress as well. That she was in Mad Men and she's in Glow.
Yes.
She plays the quite
Alison
uptight
Brie.
one. Yeah, she's fantastic. I love her.
She's really good.
Is she the main one in Glow?
She's the main one in Glow. Yeah.
That's the wrestling one.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Aye.
It's funny how like recommendations for programs work. The first recommendation I had was one of our pals. Oh, you got to watch that Glow. It's amazing. I was like, female wrestling. I know why you like it. No, you're all right. I don't think I'll get that past the boss. And,
I think I know who that friend was.
And then there was another one came from the same source going, oh no, that was brilliant. Then it turned out one of my wife's friends said, I'm really enjoying that thing Glow. And I was like, yes. Well,
Legit.
I am now. I have the go ahead, and it's absolutely brilliant. I love Glow, really love it.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, we watched Jumanji last night. The next level.
Watched that this afternoon with the kids.
Oh, did you?
It's
I love
the
it.
sequel.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
The sequel to the last new one.
It's
I've not
brilliant,
seen
isn't
it
it?
yet.
It was really, really good.
It's brilliant.
It was really good.
It's genuinely funny. It's really clever. And it's got that kind of Lego movie style humour that knows what it's doing, but still tells the story.
Yeah.
Yep.
The bit where, and I'll tell you something, The Rock is acting out of his skin. He's playing at one point he's playing Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
So Danny DeVito's speaking with his voice. He's absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Kevin Hart is amazing as Danny Glover as well.
Yeah.
It just
I love
because
that.
he does this thing where he's the zoologist and he's supposed to tell them to get out the road, and he's going, the emu, what a noble and graceful creature, and he just goes on to this 5-minute monologue.
Really
and
slow speaking.
Up. Yeah.
And there's a line in it, he says, did I kill him because I spoke too slowly? Just like he said I would. It's very, very good.
It's really good. And Aquafina's in it as well. She's good. She plays Danny DeVito at one point as well.
Oh yeah, aye. She's good as well.
She plays Ming, I think it's the character name in it.
And two Scottish people in that cast.
Karen Gillan.
Karen Gillan and the guy from Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The big guy.
The great big bushy beard guy. Yeah, that's right.
Always known as the porridge oats guy, no matter what he does.
Him. Okay.
Was he not in Game of Thrones?
That's what I said. The guy from Game of Thrones.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
Yeah. He's good. I think he's quite good as well.
Yeah.
He is good. He's very good. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No.
Yes, and I watched it. I've watched every episode of Game of Thrones, but if you ask me, do you like Game of Thrones? I go, not really.
No.
My father-in-law gives me the DVDs, and when right at the beginning, he said, do you want to borrow Game of Thrones? And I said, oh, because it get dragons in it. And he went, no. I went, oh, I thought it was one of those things that had dragons in it. No. Got the DVDs put in. Dragons, right?
Not to begin with, though.
I said to him, Andy, you said there was no dragons in this. He said, no, dragons' eggs.
Right.
So on a technicality, there were no dragons in it. But I meant, is it the kind of thing where there's dragons?
Yeah.
Which he meant, no, not yet. There's not. There's no technical.
I think he's right. You're wrong.
But it's
one of the characters is called Queen of the Dragons. Khaleesi, Queen of the Dragons.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a hint.
And
It's strange to watch so many episodes of a thing and not really like it. Like I have watched everything. I watched it all.
I did like it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was political. It was really, apart from the last season. The last season was totally rushed.
I liked the way it ended, though. Did you like the way? I liked who ended up. I liked how they finished that story. I know most people didn't like it. But I did.
No, I didn't. I thought it was totally rushed, and they didn't really explain everything about why that happened and where they were going to go. Although maybe that's something for another, if they did another one. But I think I never read the books or anything like that, but I think the books will be far more interesting than the last season of Game of Thrones, because I think they'll probably explain a bit more instead of rushing it the way they did.
Did you ever see the South Park episode about Game of Thrones? George Martin. He says it like a seal. I'm Mr. George Martin. And it's all about, it was written at the middle of it, nothing was happening. It was just promising these zombies. Was it so? And the boys have to turn up at his house to find out what's going to happen at the end of Game of Thrones. And he orders them a pizza, but it never turns up. He never gets round to order it. He just keeps describing how delicious this pizza's going to be over and over again. Go, oh my God, you haven't even ordered it.
But he hasn't finished the last book though. This is the big thing. So people are still waiting for this last book to come out.
That's a tough gig as well. That he's gonna, because he's had all the fans bitching and moaning, and he's seen the thing on the telly. That's tough to know.
I know what it's like. I know what it's like.
I know what it's like.
I know what it's like to write a multi-million selling phenomenon.
I know exactly what it's like, because see, when I was ripping up the decking earlier on today,
right,
and I'm like,
I'm out of this.
I'm like, there's something that I could do across the other side of the garden instead of doing this.
Aye.
That's probably how he feels right now. It's a bit like, what I'm saying is it's exactly like ripping up decking.
They'll put that in the front of the DVD box set.
Game of decking.
It's like ripping up decking.
Do you like ripping up decking?
Then you'll love this programme. There's technically no dragons in the first series, in case you're wondering or worried about it.
And then a wee asterisk saying, only dragons' eggs. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But you've not watched it, Sloan. That surprises me a bit. I thought you'd quite like it.
I don't like fantasy. I'm not a big fantasy person. I didn't like Lord of the Rings or any of these things either.
I didn't either.
There was dragons in it. So I don't know. Not for me. I know everyone says I would like it, but I'm like, I don't know. People.
Yeah. I like that line about Lord of the Rings and Clark's.
There's tons of sex in it.
Aye, there is. But remember Lord of the in Clark's, it must have been that remake they did, Clark's 2, where they're saying, I don't like Lord of the Rings. That movie's just people walking. Even the trees walk in that movie.
Yes.
So it's just people walking from there to there. It takes 3.5 hours. You can see them out at the beginning. What's keeping them?
It kind of is.
But the other thing as well is people read. Okay, if you take the mickey of a normal, if you take the mickey out of Star Wars to a normal Star Wars fan, they'll just be like, yeah, you're right. Whereas if you take the mickey out of it to a Lord of the Rings fan, they'll go like, actually, I think you'll find that Gandalf, and you're going like, shut up.
I know, but
I know we're losing visitors now, but no.
No, but the difference is Star Wars has a sense of humour and always has had a sense of humour. And I also think Star Wars is about human beings, not actual monsters and droids and all that stuff.
Walking
Whereas
trees.
Lord of the Rings, none of these people resemble humans. They don't behave properly. They don't speak like people, and there's no jokes at all.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. Frodo was a bit of a
There
joke.
isn't in the script. Did you watch that Devs at all, the Alex Garland thing?
No, I haven't. I want to. I've got it on the list. But
we spoke about this last week, but there's no humour in that whatsoever.
Yeah.
At all. None.
No.
Zero.
It's hard to cope with, isn't it?
It is.
It's a really high concept. I enjoyed it. Sloan felt it was a bit slow and ploddy, but I really enjoyed it.
There wasn't enough dragons in it.
Or dragons' eggs.
Or not even an egg.
No.
You're kidding me.
Not even
A bit weird for a season 1.
No,
strange.
no thrones
No thrones or nothing.
of games or swords or anything. No, nothing.
No, nothing like that.
No.
But yeah, but I still enjoyed it.
I'm definitely going to watch it though because everybody's saying it's great.
Aye.
Mhm.
He's great, Alex Garland, actually. He's Annihilation, did you see that on Netflix?
No.
Did you not watch that one? That was his
No, I
last
didn't.
one he'd done. And it was straight to Netflix,
Right.
movie with Natalie
Right.
Portman in it.
Oh, I
Good as
didn't
well.
even know that one.
Aye. Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Ex Machina, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was great.
That was terrific. Absolutely terrific.
Yeah, it was really good. Should we talk Handmade Films?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to talk really about Whitnell and I, but I thought that it
gonna
might
say-
might not
segue into it.
stretch.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Douglas, since how this is your idea, we want you to do a half-hour monologue on the subject
Right,
of Handmade Films now.
You know, though, see when you go back, see that list you sent through of the movies.
That's not
Yeah.
all of them.
I know.
No.
I went on Wikipedia as well just to check out. For a tiny company that hardly produced anything, there's a good handful of classics.
Handful.
Oh,
That-
yeah.
Whitnell and I is my all-time favourite film, and I think Life of Brian would be in my top 5.
Yeah.
Definitely my favourite comedy.
Yeah.
And there's Time Bandits, Private Function,
Mhm.
Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, which is a bit of an outlier.
Didn't know that was a.
Yeah, I didn't know that was
even know-
handmade either.
Didn't even know it was still going. 127 hours.
Yeah.
Should we just first explain in case nobody knows what handmade films are?
So this was
Do you want to explain it, Douglas?
This is when Monty Python got into big trouble when they were developing Life of Brian, which they got funding for it and it was going to be produced, and then the funding collapsed right at the last minute, and it was all set to go, the whole thing, and it was suddenly they were all going to be cast into massive debt. It was a complete catastrophe, and it was because the producers got cold feet, obviously, about the subject matter. But Eric Idle was great pals with George Harrison. I believe he was in a pop group. I don't follow it much.
Right.
You know, who
Hit
knows?
Parade, part of the Hit Parade.
It's one of them. And he said he would pay for it, but they needed to start a company up. And he actually mortgaged his house. I can't understand that bit of it. How much money did this film cost that George Harrison had to mortgage a house? And as Eric Idle said, it's the most anyone's ever paid to see a film.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
George Harrison just wanted to see it.
It's the
he
most
thought it
expensive
sounded-
cinema ticket ever bought. Yeah.
And so George Harrison, I think a guy called Dennis O'Brien, who ended up getting sued by everybody. I think all the Pythons ended up suing him.
Including Harrison as well. Harrison
Aye.
sued him for 25 million or something, and he ended up
And
getting 11.5 settlement.
And I think it was all, but the pair of them did it. And the other guy who kind of ran it day to day was that percussionist that Elton John works with, Ray.
The bald guy with
The bald guy with the glasses.
Really?
So
Really?
he was a day to
Lead
day
tambourine.
lead tambourine. He was the day to day guy. But it was really just pet projects that George Harrison really loved. And it like
Is there any link, right? Because you're an expert in this, Douglas.
No.
Is there any link? see when they filmed The Holy Grail, a lot of the money came from rock bands, didn't it? From
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin.
Genesis, Led
Pink
Zeppelin,
Floyd.
Floyd.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of a link to kind of rock people.
Python were huge with those guys, you know, that were just real fans of it.
If you buy the script for the Holy Grail, they give you the P&L statement in the back.
Do they?
Huh?
Yes. And it mentions who's sponsored it.
You got that, didn't you?
Yeah.
But
Imagine that. Here you go, guys. Here's the script and the P&L.
Aye.
Yeah, so that's how they started, and then when George Harrison's obviously dead. George Harrison died, what, 12 years ago or something? Maybe
Was it
longer.
still going when he was? Did it wind up before?
So it ended up getting sold
because-
to some Canadian company, and then they sold it to somebody else, then it sold to somebody else. So it's like 4 times removed from him.
And it's
I mean,
funny,
according to this, there was an animated movie, Planet 51, in
yeah, so
2009.
I remember
it was
that.
produced by them.
and
I remember that.
127 hours, I suppose. But the time you think about it are those British movies from the
2010,
late
yeah.
70s, 80s,
Mhm.
with the logo.
Yeah.
And they just all had a bit of an atmosphere about them. So, do you ever think that, like, all the movies we saw and got how we learnt about films, we just happened to see it on actual telly?
Yeah.
Like, you would see Water or A Private Function, it would just be on. They're never on
Channel
there.
4.
You know, you'd never get a film like that on normal telly.
Yeah.
You'd have to really hunt it down.
Yeah, because they were kind of edgy movies, or they were kind of quirky, or you know.
There was always a chance of boobs or a bum in a Handmade.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but
you do get a little bit of the chance, but and very
changed times now, Douglas.
But you're right. Some of these movies are so weird. Like Withnail and I just would not get made now at all.
No,
simply on the title doesn't mean anything.
I'm assuming How to Get Ahead of in Advertising was Handmade as well.
Yes,
it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Which was the who directed that?
Bruce Robinson.
Yes, it directed Withnail and I.
Aye, and wrote it too. And again, like Harrison would on Withnail and I, when it wasn't going well on day one, nobody thought it worked. You know, apart from the actors, and the crew were all really thinking we need to get another job. And George Harrison rolls up in his Rolls Royce and comes out and laughs loudly, and everyone starts to feel great about it. You know.
Yeah.
But those little kind of. And I was surprised when I was looking at it today that Time Bandits is their most successful film.
Really?
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
I would actually have thought Life of Brian would have been the most successful film.
I know. So Time Bandits made so much more than Life of Brian, apparently.
Made off like a bandit.
Made like a bandit.
Yeah, that was a real big kids movie though in 1981. It says here.
I think we went to the cinema to see that. I don't think we saw that on TV. I think that was one of the ones we actually saw in the movies.
I
remember everybody buzzing to see that film.
Aye. It's a great film. It's got a funny ending though, hasn't it? You feel weird at the end of Time Bandits. It's like it hasn't quite finished.
Yeah.
It's the usual Terry Gilliam surrealness, and it's all kind of a bit disjointed.
Yeah.
But it all comes together.
Some great bits. It's the end. Doesn't the devil end up as a bit of meat in a microwave that starts a fire?
Yes, he's
that's
the piece of evil. He becomes a piece of evil, and that's what burns the house down at the end.
Yeah, that's right. Aye.
And then his mum and dad touch it, and then they explode for reasons. I don't know.
But it's so good. It's so surreal and so Gilliam-esque.
Yeah. Some brilliant bits.
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant bits, isn't it?
I didn't realise Lockstock was a Handmade.
No, I had no idea it was even still going.
No. One of my favourites is The Long Good Friday, though.
Yeah.
From that list.
I haven't seen that for ages.
See the car ride at the end of the credits?
Oh, man, when IRA guy gets them.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Oh, it's so good. Just Hoskins' face. I know.
See his expression at the end of that movie.
It's so
and
good.
How unsettled he is.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a great film. That's an absolute Stonewall classic.
And there's a couple on that list that Bob Hoskins in I've never heard of. Quite a lot of the Bob Hoskins movies.
Did you guys ever see Mona Lisa?
I've never seen. No, I never saw that.
I've seen it, but it was years and years ago.
I've seen it, but years and years ago, and I somehow got it mixed up with The Crying Game in my mind.
Yes.
The story of it. But I don't know why that would be.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Really? What, is there a connection?
I think the connection
is...
Stephen
Rea film, Crying Game.
Crying Game featured the IRA. Long Good Friday featured the IRA. Bob Hoskins was in that, and he was also in Mona Lisa. That's the only thing I can think of that would connect the dots, for me anyway.
Was in Crying Game, Bob Hoskins?
No, but it was about the IRA.
Okay. So, one of my favourite ones was Private Function, though.
It's good.
As well.
It's good. Do you know my problem with Private Function is, this is a weird thing, because it's also a musical, it's called Betty Blue Eyes, a musical version of it. It's the same with that. You've got a chiropodist, and you've got a pig, and you've got all those kind of woolen jumpers and all. It's just a wee bit smelly for me. It's all about smelly things. You know, I don't want a scratch and sniff version of it.
Yeah.
Not that exists. Not that that's a film thing.
God forbid.
Alan Bennett.
Maybe you should do a musical called Scratch and Sniff.
Yeah, more likely. Alan Bennett wrote that, and
was it?
in it. Aye.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's
We've
good.
had more facts this week than we've ever had since we've been doing
I know.
this.
I went to see,
Mhm.
talking about going to see things in the cinema, one of the films on that list, I went to see Nuns on the Run in the cinema.
So did we-
Yeah, that was a big film as well.
Aye.
I actually thought that would have been one of the biggest ones that they'd done.
Yeah.
It's funny that you wonder now whether these films that at our age, whatever age we were at this time, thought were the big film, or
Mhm.
probably not. You know, it's just the ones
Yeah.
that kind of caught our imagination.
I know.
I think the other thing as well was Robbie Coltrane not in Tutti Frutti at the time, and that was like his
Yeah.
big kind of
Yeah.
like film break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he never worked in a big movie, big quote unquote movie
Yeah.
until the Harry Potter series, which was years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did Cracker. That was on the telly.
Yeah, but that was
That was
TV
a
though.
telly. Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
he was in Golden, not Goldeneye.
He was
He was
in
in one of the
movies,
Bond
wasn't he?
movies.
I think
He
it might
played
have
a
been
Russian
GoldenEye.
in GoldenEye. GoldenEye.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All ties in.
Yeah,
Everyone
does.
ties in.
Ties
It's
into
got a
Bond.
theme. It's got a theme.
Pierce Brosnan was in Handmade. He was in Handmade. No?
But I mean, it started with Life of Brian. So
Mm-hmm.
think to yourself, what a way to start.
I know.
He's also in Life of Brian as well, George Harrison.
Aye, so he is.
Because
Very
he's the
briefly.
guy. He's the guy that funds the shindig.
Yeah. That's right.
He goes, "This is Alfie Mob or whatever his name is."
Yeah.
He funded all this, and he goes, "Hello."
Hello.
That's right. in his best Arabic accent.
Yes.
Jerusalem or whatever.
It's just
Via Liverpool.
Life of Brian is just good bit after good bit after good bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything works in it.
It's like as if it's written like sketches, but it
Yeah.
all interlinks as a story as well.
Yeah.
You've got
It's
to
almost
say-
it's almost perfect, isn't it?
It almost is. That you could argue a wee bit about the Gilliam section with the UFO,
Little bit.
maybe,
Urban.
but I still like it. You know, I like
like
that
it.
bit
Yeah.
because it's just
daft.
too. But I tell you what, as well, Graham Chapman, like who knew? He acts his way all the way. He's actually acting. The rest of them are doing their normal thing. He's
Yeah.
actually playing a character.
Yeah.
He was always the lead though. Like he was the lead King Arthur in the Holy Grail, and then he's the lead in that as well. And obviously, Meaning of Life was more like separate sketches, but aye, because you always I never ever think of Graham Chapman as being the main one. When you think of Monty Python, I always think of Terry Jones, John Cleese,
Aye.
probably John Cleese first. You know.
Yeah.
Michael Palin.
I think because Graham Chapman for a long period of Python was an alcoholic that couldn't really function, and they held him up, you know, and they kind of wrote around him.
Yeah,
he's fantastic in Life of Brian.
Oh, he's brilliant.
It's just all the
Really,
the thing I love about Life of Brian is everyone who's got power is absolutely useless. The army, faith, preachers, you know, even the unions, they're useless. All of them, you know. Nobody can do anything. And it's like stuff like that would just before all this kicking off. The Labour Party it's not getting news now because there is only one piece of news. But it turned out they kind of threw the election so that Corbyn didn't get it. They didn't like Corbyn enough, so they deliberately hobbled him. Their own, and you just think People's Front of Judea. It hasn't changed on the left. It still exists. Splitter, you know, one guy sitting in his own. It's never changed.
Sitting in his own. It's the Colosseum. That's right, aye.
And then they have to take a vote whether or not they're going to give him a round of applause on the cross. You know?
Yeah.
That's right. Oh my God.
It's
so
superb.
wrong.
We have all these caveats as well for motions to get passed. It's like, so long as this and that and the next thing.
Or female.
Right, or brother.
Yeah. Or sister.
I want to be called Loretta.
That is Eric Idle saying that because I want to be a woman.
I want to be called Loretta.
And look, what did the Romans do for us? If that had just been a sketch, it would still be famous. But it was just a little bit in the movie.
Do you know the BBC did something similar for the license fee? So they get John Cleese. Remember John Cleese when he left Python, or when Python broke up or went on hiatus, whatever. He did a whole lot of like business videos. And they're all hilarious. They're all great. But he did an advert for the BBC, and it was what has the license fee ever done for us? And it's all these famous people in a pub saying, well, we get nature documentaries, we get dramas and all this kind of stuff.
It's such a genius idea. And did you? I used to have the script of it. Did you ever have that book, Sloan, that was the Life of Brian script, and you could turn it round at the back, and it was the making of Life of Brian, like a big Monty
No.
I
Python
remember
book.
that book. I
Aye.
remember that.
A few of us had it,
That one.
but because they wrote it all, they went to Jamaica or somewhere or the Caribbean, and they wrote it on the beach, each of them, and then read their little bits out.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic, and the reaction to it, it's crazy. I love that chat show Palin's on when he loses his temper with that cardinal and the critic.
Yeah.
And to see Michael Palin losing his temper, it's like freaking. It's like
know.
Daddy's crying. You know, it's like something's not right in the world.
Did you ever see the drama? And it was all about that.
Yeah.
Sloan's not seen that, I don't think.
But no, I haven't.
It's all right. It was okay.
I thought it was quite good. I thought the actors they chose were pretty bang on.
Yeah.
You know, who they picked to do it, and it was basically sort of centering around that whole controversy around the movie and the interview. That was the kind of ending, wasn't it? The cardinal and the.
Have you ever seen?
Do you know who it was that? Do you know who it was that interviewed them?
No.
Tim Rice.
Was it?
Tim
Rice did the interview.
The lyricist.
Yeah.
Aye.
Wow.
Did you ever see the panel they were doing at the time when Terry Jones and John Cleese have a fight about whether or not it's blasphemous or heretical? And it becomes this high-level intellectual debate about the meaning of heresy.
Oh, really?
And Terry Jones saying, "I'm not happy with blasphemy, but I am fine with heresy because we should be heretical." And there's this whole thing. Well, what difference does it make? Because they were like that anyway. And the pair of them were just at.
Not seen that.
It was on. It's hard to know
debate.
with Python now, which documentary or which thing is
I'll go on YouTube,
so much.
probably. There's so much on YouTube.
Mm.
We should go on YouTube. Do you know that?
We should. Yeah.
Yeah, you should think about it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I don't even really know what it is, but some kind of T-shirt or something.
Have you not told them yet?
Is it not plumbing supplies? It's
Something
like
like
DIY plumbing supplies, YouTube.
And the best thing as well, after talking about Time
It's been an
Bandits
insult
having
in Britain.
Time Bandits had a funny kind of half knot ending, whereas Life of Brian has that song, which suddenly ties. There's no way it's tied together. No way until that song comes in, and you forgive everything. You know, it just feels like it's all resolved, even though nothing's happened.
You're leaving the theatre whistling it as well, which is even better.
Man, aye. It's genius.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
I was just going to say it's the it goes up and down in the charts for the most requested at funerals. Always looking the bright side of life.
Aye.
Yeah, it goes up and down. Idol's book's good. It was out last year.
I've read it.
Aye, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. Although, do you not think it ends up being a bit of a name check list after a while?
He's always been a bit like that. He's been
halfway
a bit
through,
Hollywood.
it just gets me and my friend David Bowie.
Yeah.
David never got on with George Harrison. I don't understand why.
I often asked Eric Clapton, why don't they get on?
Yeah, I guess a bit. And then when we were on his yacht, you're like, okay.
I kind of feel for him though because he's the organizer of Python. None of the others really want to do it, but they want the money. You know, so it's Eric Idle that had to put that reunion show together. He's the one sweating bullets.
I would love to see the musical, the Holy Grail one.
Yeah.
I've not seen that.
I've not seen it either.
Spamalot.
Spamalot. Yeah, we should all go and see that.
Yeah.
See when you come over next year, we should do that.
Is it on permanently someplace?
Always. There's always a Spamalot.
Aye.
It's
always look on the bright side of life.
The other one I want to see is the Book of Mormon. I see that as well.
Yeah, no, I want to see that too.
It's meant to be really funny as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on about Christ.
No, it's not Christ, he's a naughty boy.
I was going to say, the only thing I was going to say there was that 127 hours. That scene where he's actually, have you both seen it? That movie?
I have not seen it.
No.
I just don't fancy it.
I heard it went over budget. It cost an arm and a leg.
Oh God.
Well,
basically, the premise of it is stuck down a gorge. He's pretty much the most idiotic guy. Doesn't tell him where he's going. Goes by himself, right? no communications, nothing. Then gets stuck down a gorge with his arm trapped between a boulder
Rock and a hard
place.
Mhm.
For him to says it, as you did. And then he's got to cut off his arm. But see when he does it, see when he cuts his arm off, the sound effect when it hits the tendon is like a like that. So everybody in the cinema really feels it happening. It is so gross.
I do normally like Danny Boyle stuff, but I just didn't fancy the premise of it.
It's not a film that it could have been told in half an hour. Really, it's one of those ones.
So that's quite a cut from 127 hours to half an hour.
I wasn't sure about that.
At what point did you realise you were going to have to chop your arm off? I was half an hour in, but I left it for 126 and a half hours before I actually cut through it.
I wasn't actually sure how long that because we were trying to remember the name of that movie and how long it was, and I was like, was it 300 and something, which is like
you're going through
how
the
many weeks is that?
Hard to search for if you don't know the title. Let's try 507. No, shit, no. 6,000.
272. No.
Do you remember going to the Glasgow Film Theatre and wondering what movie we were watching, and it turned out it was Withnail and I because it was perfect.
We'd never seen it like that before. The version we had on VHS was so dark.
Yeah.
So even the first scene, which we just thought was like black fading up with the light of a kitchen, suddenly you could see the whole thing. We couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
That film was, because there's been...
I don't think I've seen it in the cinema.
It's a revelation.
It was also really loud as well, because we've been like, it was very, very quiet, the VHS one as well.
Even the clock tells it the same right time twice a day.
Yeah.
Stopped clock.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Like, I didn't even realise there was jazz playing at the start. It was so quiet.
No. And I hadn't, the version I'd seen it at uni. Douglas, my pal, had taped it off the telly. But it finished, the tape ran out at here. So I didn't know how it finished. But we used to watch it all the time. And then when we shared a flat, and so when I was a student, I was kind of pretending. I liked that film when I was kind of pretending to be this kind of like actory drunk. But then when we shared a flat, where we were in that flat I slept in the kitchen of that flat, no double glazing, no cooker, no shower, no central heating, and we were at the pub all the time, and I was desperately trying to be a playwright.
Yeah.
I was kind of living that life, and we watched it almost on a daily basis. So it's not not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Most nights when we came back in, we watched Withnail and
I can guarantee that's probably the film I've watched the most in my life, and we probably watched it 400 times.
Aye.
Something like that.
And it was it's so strange thinking of doing that.
Yeah.
Like going and let's watch the same thing we watched yesterday again.
I seem to remember as well, halfway through I bought another copy of Withnail and I, right? Because the other copy was so bad. Or we'd seen the GFT, and I seem to remember buying it later on because the copy was terrible, and we needed to get like a better copy for our daily watch.
It's mad. And the other massive thing that happened with this film for me was, so I was writing plays. I thought it would be a matter of months before my plays went on. It was 5 years, right? Sending this shit out and writing 1 million plays. But you got the script of Withnail and I from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The book of it.
Yeah.
And so the opening, I don't know what you call them in movies, I would call them stage directions. So the description of which, and this is a shot of panning out from the kitchen as Withnail comes in, he's boiling, he puts the kettle on to boil. It's like a page of description, and it's unbelievable. He paints the entire picture. He makes a joke about what's sitting on the plate. It's something about a carry-out that the guy that made it would never have been brave enough to call it sweet, but could not imagine how sour it has ended up. Then he starts talking about the music, and he says, just listen to that saxophone. He's writing it down. I've never read anything like it. And I was thinking, I need to do that for my plays, because my plays aren't going on. Someone needs to pick up the script and from the first bit, they need to be in the world of it. There needs to be.
Did that influence you then, big time?
It changed everything, because from that I started working on that, and suddenly scripts started getting read, and so I still spend ages on that opening stage direction of just make sure the reader's in.
Yeah, just
you still think back to that
all the time, and the weird thing about that script, he was directing it himself, so he's put all that detail in for himself. You know,
because he knows.
He doesn't need to do it, but
was he always going to be directing it though?
I don't know that. That's a good question. I don't know whether he was. He might have been punting it, because he'd won an Oscar. He'd just won an Oscar for The Killing Fields. He wrote the screenplay for that, so he had a bit of clout.
Did he?
Aye. Just before that. That's why the only reason that film got made, because there's no way.
Right.
All the rules about what a film is, Withnail and I doesn't do them. There's no women in it.
What was the film? Oh God, he did a film, Jennifer 8. Do you know he directed that?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
And
remember the one where it was with what do you call her? Kill Bill.
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman. You know that movie? She's blind in it.
He not only pops up now and then. He did one called Return to Paradise, I think it was called, with Vince Vaughn. That was like half him. You could totally tell. The other one that's good is The Rum Diaries. He wrote the script for The Rum Diaries.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah.
Hunter, and it's you can totally tell.
Hunter S. Thompson.
Do you know the thing I read recently of his was his Jack the Ripper book? Have you read that?
No.
So it's a slab. You've got to get ready for it. But he's written as solving the Jack the Ripper. Fact. It's non-fiction. So it's on one hand it's about solving the mystery. On the other hand, it's about debunking Jack the Ripper scholars. And it's a bit repetitive, but it's very, very good. I mean, when he writes, he's just fantastic.
Interesting.
Because it's one of those, Withnail and I is a bit like Pulp Fiction to me, that there's something in the dialogue that makes you remember it the first time you've heard it. You can, we can all do lines from Withnail and I, a bit like you can do a line from Pulp Fiction. And it's a mystery, isn't it? Why does some lines stick?
Well, for us, it's Trading Places and Stir Crazy. Spies Like Us.
Yeah.
Do you remember
For me, anyway, because
like
you used to repeat those all the time. And Ace Ventura.
Oh, Ace Ventura for me, definitely. Yeah.
If you can go highbrow, Douglas, I can.
Yeah, you drag it back. You drag it back down.
Drag it right back down there.
I think there's a kind of sorry, Sloan, on you go.
Sorry, that's all right. On you go.
I was going to say there's a kind of rhythm in it that not only is it funny and rhythmical, there's always a bit of truth in it. Like even a throwaway line like, those are the kind of windows faces looking at.
Yes.
Aye.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of windows faces looking at. It's got a kind of bounce. But it's also funny because he's like blaming the window for a face looked in. But at the heart of it, we all know what he means. Those are the kind of windows faces looking at. You know? One of those wee cottage windows.
Do you know, I still think about that when I go to old places and I see the wee tiny windows and I'm like, oh, I don't like that window.
Aye, those are the faces.
That's not a good looking window. What, the windows?
It's also not like Withnail and I doesn't even really have a story. No. They go to the Lake District and that's it.
They go to the Lake District to escape their terrible lives.
Aye.
Only to be thrust into worse lives.
Aye.
But then it is all about the patter and the banter between the two of them. It's the kind of
totally.
You know, that kind of buddy cop. You know, they hate each other type thing, but they get along. You know.
And
anyway.
And there's a desperation underneath it. They're so desperate. And they're just, the other thing, when we first started watching it, we were in our early 20s. But they were in their late 20s. He turns 30 in a month, Withnail says. So there was that kind of pressure, I think, of going, oh my God, what if nothing happens to us in our 20s? What's going to, you know, because you don't get another chance. But then, unbelievably with Withnail and I, after all that, it breaks my heart every single time. That when Marlowe, the guy's called, I think.
Marwood,
Marwood, and Marwood. He goes off, he's got his job, and Withnail's left. In the script, he fills up a double-barrel shotgun with the most expensive wine in the cellar, some Merlot, some other, and drinks from the shotgun. That was the end shot of the script, which is a totally different thing. Because I think when Withnail does that Hamlet speech,
Yeah.
I find it so sad for him, but I've got hope. And largely because in my mind I've got him mixed up with Richard E. Grant. I think Richard E. Grant is Withnail. So every time I see Richard E. Grant in something, I go, oh, look, good
Same
for
here.
Withnail. Good for
That's
Withnail.
what I always think as well.
Look, Withnail ended up working with Scorsese. He did Age of Innocence. Withnail did Coppola, Dracula. He's in the Spice Girls movies, in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
All right.
Right, okay.
And
And
both of
where
them
is,
played the Doctor.
Well, he did that. He's
Yes.
done a lot of voiceovers, and that's about it.
Yeah.
When did he play Doctor Who?
He does the Richard E. Grant does the audiobooks for Doctor Who. Some of them, anyway. Not all of them.
That's an
Sorry, I thought you
interesting
meant.
fact.
There you go.
I thought you meant
Paul-
the
Paul McGann.
Paul McGann. He
No,
played-
Paul McGann did actually play the Doctor. He played the 8th Doctor. The American one, the
It
Universal.
was just a
Pictures
one-off
one.
movie, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I always felt as if he should have done much better.
As an actor.
Do you remember the TV show that he did, the Give Us a Break or something it was called, about the snooker?
No.
Remember that?
The
No.
what? So
He was kind of rising star in the snooker world and trying to kind of go through pubs and play and hustle his way up. And it was a great TV show, and I never.
I don't even
See,
remember.
After
see
that.
at the end of Withnail and I, he says that he's got a gig playing a soldier, I think.
Yeah.
And the next thing you see him in is the Monaco Mutineer.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. And the other fact that's always amazing about Withnail and I is Richard E. Grant is allergic to alcohol.
Really?
He'd never had a drink in his entire life. The only time he had alcohol was on the set when Bruce Robinson reckoned he'd have to do it. And immediately he has to spew it out. He can't be it. And yet he is the best cinematic drunk of all time.
I know.
Yeah.
See that bit when he's in the car and he's like, "Scrubbers, throw yourself into the road."
I know.
He turns around and he's got these wild wee beady eyes. He looks absolutely steaming.
Yeah.
So good. Anyway, so if you want to follow us, hit the subscribe button below, the notification bell. You can follow us on Twitter as well at Super Kelly Bros, which is up there. And yeah, thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.